My father is into model railroads, and among other stuff he owns this beautiful locomotive. Now it is crammed with electronics and has a huge bunch of features that you can control remotely. Only the sound is a little bit underwhelming. Now, admittedly, there is not a lot of room inside the locomotive for a big speaker, but I think we can do better than that. So let's build a pretty small loudspeaker. In the boiler of the locomotive there was this loudspeaker. I tried a few speakers that will also fit into the boiler. Not surprisingly, the largest and most expensive speaker was also the best. However, a speaker needs a cabinet to sound right. I improvised one. Once again, the original loudspeaker. And the result remained the same. The Visa-tone speaker was the best. However, the loudspeaker is square and therefore does not fit into the round boiler cross-section. So the corners have to come off. First I packed the speaker with masking tape so that no sawdust gets into the speaker. I guess you'd never get that out because of the magnet. In principle you can saw off the corners quite well with a fret saw, but at some point I lost my patience and took an angle grinder. That works too. I picked up the metal sawdust with a magnet. Now I have designed a suitable housing in SketchUp and printed it with my 3D printer. As always, the STL file is available on fluxing.de. Then I soldered a cable on and led it through the housing. By the way, I should have used a thinner cable, that it would have made the installation much easier later. In my first attempt, I glued the speaker on with hot glue. I removed that later, but we'll get to that. To compensate for the small cabinet, high-quality Bluetooth loudspeakers use a passive bass radiator that amplifies low frequencies by resonance. I'll try that too. However, the effect is not really convincing. But the diaphragm of the loudspeaker would also have to move when I press the bass radiator. That it doesn't means that the case isn't airtight. I have noticed that the air escapes through the speaker itself. No wonder, because the rubber ring on the front can only seal the speaker if it is screwed against the front panel. So the hot glue and the rubber ring are removed. And because I almost tore off the membrane, everything is now glued in with plenty of two-component glue. That looks terrible, but now it's airtight. Again, before and after for comparison.
Now, unfortunately, I forgot to make a shot with music for comparison, and now the loudspeaker is deep inside the locomotive. But it definitely sounds a lot better than, for example, this Bluetooth speaker. So, if you have any ideas or questions, please post them in the comments. And please click subscribe or like, or both. And see you next week. Bye bye.